Hello. Sorry it takes me a while because if I talk right away, I notice my audio cuts me off. So I try to wait a few seconds. But anyway, let me get right into it. So I titled it defeating any type of supremacy starts in the mind. And the reason why I just didn't say white supremacy because it's more powerful people around the world than just one group of people. And I also recognize that so-called black people use this whole white supremacy argument, complaints, and rhetoric to really, it was really certain leaders put in place, especially during those Black Power movements and certain religions. It was actually certain white people that put black leaders in place to come up with that rhetoric over and over and over again. It was mostly to keep black women in place. That's why I don't talk about white supremacy a whole lot, and I don't like bringing it up. Not to say that it don't exist, but what I'm saying is that I don't like to say it so much because you give something too much attention, it kind of controls you, even though we know that a certain group of people still kind of run the world and control media. Um, but yeah, so I don't like the white supremacy thing because I know it was used by certain leaders and is still used to this day to keep black women in place. That's why you have a lot of males that can date interracial all he want to. And nobody, yeah, people give him a hard time. He has gotten a hard time, but not nearly as bad as black women, the flack that black women have gotten for dating interracially. Reason being because black women get it from a lot of black men and a lot of black women and other groups of people too. And black men mostly, not as much anymore, but we get it a lot from black women, but it's because those black women were taught to be loyal. So if they're going to be loyal, they can't have the people they loyal to abandoning them. That's common sense. But getting back on topic, that's just the reason why I don't like the white supremacy, because I know it was used to program the minds of black women and keep them in place and keep them from leaving and keep them from growing. So anyway, so how to defeat any supremacy starts in the mind. Because, for example, okay, look at media, for example, right? What would happen if, and I'm just going to focus on black women because at this point I would say black people, but if I don't care that much about the men and the women equally, then I'm not going to just say black people. And I don't care equally about the men and the women. I just don't. I care a little more about the women, but I don't care about all black women. Certain black women, I don't care about at all, okay? But for the most part, I'm for the ladies, okay? So I don't like to really say black people in my audios because I don't care that much about black people. I don't. And I don't like being fake. But anyway, so imagine the media and imagine how black women are so-called black women. I'm just saying black women because that's how people know to identify a certain group of people in the United States of color. That's just how people know how to recognize them. Black is really not a good name. But anyway, you see how the media like to portray black women, dark-skinned women, as being all of these things, a person who likes to fight and struggle and a social justice warrior. And I saw Chrissy do a video about some Ben and Jerry's cup, how the black woman was at the front of the cup of the person who's the face of resistance. And to be honest with you, unfortunately, a lot of black women did that to themselves because they would have faced a resistance during the Black Lives Matter movements, during the police killings. They did that to themselves. But just imagine if black women, say a good 70% of black women, which might happen, in the upcoming years, took their eyes off of television, not television, just television, but took their mind off of CNN, took their minds off of whatever these people are producing, these commercials, and definitely stopped listening to these males. Stop listening to what these males tell you, okay? Because right now, I said earlier that Deborah Cooper is a relationship expert that's been around for years. And I just looked at one of her videos. She has 14,000 subscribers and she's been around for a while. And you got these guys that come after her trying to create all this relationship advice for Black women, and they pages grow to over 100,000 subscribers within in 1 year, and they get lots of donations from these ladies because I know ain't no men giving them no donations. Okay, so what I'm saying is the biggest problem I would say with the representation of Black women in media and Black women, especially American Black women, is that they give their attention to people who don't serve them well. I feel like if Black women turn their attention, meaning, and this goes along with the title, defeating any supremacy starts in the mind, because unfortunately there's a Black male supremacy over Black women too. So you got white supremacy, but you got a Black male supremacy too, because they control the minds of a lot of Black women. So that's Black male supremacy. They had, and I understand the resistance from Black men to keep Black women in their place because they understand that they had some kind of control. Black women waking up and walking away, then Black men have nothing. Okay, literally have nothing. Okay, yeah, so the reason why the representation and the way Black women are seen around the world, especially American Black women, is the way it is because of where they put their minds, and this need for validation is so bad that they allow other people to control their image. There's too many Black males, and not just Black males, people of other cultures, ethnicities, that's creating these movies and creating these roles and these commercials trying to depict Black women. And you don't have too many Black women who are doing it themselves. It's other people. But when you do find a Black woman some Black women who produce movies, it's the same old rhetoric that's been out there for a long time because they've already been programmed to think a certain way about themselves. Okay, so just imagine 70-80% Black women turning their attention away from these Black males, turning their attention away from the mainstream media and how the mainstream media wants them depicted. Imagine Black women turning their minds away from these people and focusing on themselves. Okay, what's going to be happening is that a whole nother world will be created. Your subconscious mind controls 95% of what's going on in your outward reality, but I would get to that one on another one. And so when you look at these negative images, like Ratchet Video Weekly that Phil used to have, and it's stuff with the media takeout and all that stuff on depicting Black women in a negative manner, and then listening to these guys online, and looking at other types of media that may portray Black women, you keep feeding your mind that, then it kind of, the thing with the subconscious is that even though you may not agree with what you're seeing and you have a problem with it, the conscious mind does not agree with it, but the subconscious mind, that is the mind that controls 95% of what's going on in your outward world. The subconscious mind just accepts whatever you're putting in your eye gate and your ear gate. It's not like the conscious mind. The conscious mind is more analytical, okay? And it says, oh, this is not right. It's not right what you're doing. Yeah, but you keep watching it, keep listening to it. Your subconscious mind accepts it as true, okay? It does not know time. It does not know. It just accepts what you keep putting in your mind, okay? That's what I mean by you can end any kind of or defeat any kind of supremacy, and it starts in your mind. What you put your mind on shapes your outward world. And if more Black women put their mind off of everybody else and on just being great and supporting each other, which it eventually happen, but it's going to take a purge, and it's going to be like 2 to 3 more years where we will see an additional maybe 20% of Black women, walk away from the foolishness. Okay. And even though 20% is not a lot, the damage has been so great. 20% is really a large number. Okay. It really is a large number considering the amount of damage that has been done, not just during American history, but prior to that, the damage has been done greatly on Black women way before that. I mean, let's not forget the Arab slave trade and the Ottoman Empire and all of that stuff. I mean, it's not just American history that messed up the Black woman's mind. Okay. So with all of that happening, 20% in the next 2 to 3 years of Black women walking away from the foolishness, that's actually a lot. And if that few can get as many little girls as possible, that's enough to start over. Okay, that's enough to start over. I'm not concerned about no big numbers. I don't care about that because it's too much dead weight. The more numbers, if you're creating a useless species, then you're just creating more. It's like you're adding weight to your ankles and it's pulling you underwater into the sea. And you say you care about this color, so let's just keep adding and adding to the numbers, but it's more weights to your ankle. Okay, and so you keep going down to the bottom of the sea. So I don't care about no doggone no quantity if there's no quality. But I don't want to get too far off. I don't like doing that. So yeah, just watch what you put your mind on. Just imagine, just for a second, if most people stop looking at CNN, if most people stop looking at the news, if most people stop looking at the programs on television, what would happen? And if they start focusing on a different type of earth, where there is no suffering, where there's more peace, where there's just no hate, would you know what kind of world it would be like if people took their minds off of the stuff that's in media, even the newspapers, and putting their minds on what they want this earth to look like and concentrating on that more than they're looking at any kind of media? Do you know what this planet would look like? Because that's a collective consciousness joining together to create a new world that will defeat any kind of supremacy, because now you're getting millions and billions of people together that's going to agree on one thing, and that's going to create a whole new world. Okay? And I don't care how powerful and what kind of military weapons these people have. You get billions of people that get together to focus on a better earth with no suffering, with peace, and especially no governments. And you get billions of people to focus intently on that for several hours a day and don't look at the TV or media. I don't care what kind of that would disarm all of these elites. It would disarm all of them. Because it's the consciousness of people that's creating this world, and all of this media is used to program the consciousness. All of this negative imagery, all of this stuff in the news, all of this trauma, all of this shootings going on around the world, all of this stuff is used to plant seeds of fear and trauma in the consciousness of people, and is creating an outward world of suffering. So that's what I'm saying, is that it's the consciousness that is creating this outward world. Okay. But anyway, back on Black women. Yeah. So if most Black women can get together, which it won't happen now because Black women have, a lot of them are extremely ill. But even if you get a few, this year it might be 30% of Black women who walked away. Next year it might be another 20 or 30% of Black women that walk away. Well, that's still a nice number compared to the damage that's been done over the centuries. And get it in your mind and see these Black women who walk away. I have a big problem with the separation of women, like the Black women like that. I understand that they moving on and being happy. Even me in India, I would like to have it where all of us can get together and meet up, so Black women won't just be split apart like that. But because the Black community is just going to disintegrate, it's already happening. Uh, but anyway, yeah, just imagine them getting together, no longer listening to these males and no longer listening to the other stuff that media puts out about them, and only focus on being great and powerful and being the best that they can be and on their life path. Just imagine what kind of a different world that would be created for Black women and girls. Because, like I say, your consciousness, your subconscious mind is creating your reality. Take your mind from the rest of this trash that's out there and place it on something that serves your best interest more. A totally new outward world is created for Black women and girls. Anyway, this has gone on long enough. I went long because I wanted to make sure I really explained myself. But anyway, I will talk to you soon. Okay.